All right, welcome to your very first engineering mechanics lecture. And we start, of course, with the warm-up. And the warm-up is fairly familiar to you. Hopefully, most techniques that we use mathematically in this section you know about already and you have learned about before. But we will look at them from a more engineering mechanics standpoint. And of course, I explained to you throughout this session what that means. Mathematically and conceptually, the warm-up part, the first third of the semester, is significantly simpler than the stuff that we tackle in part number 2. So right now we're in part number 1, and everything in part number 1 will make up one exam, and then we have part number 2, which will make up another exam, and part number 3 will make up another exam. And please do not confuse the simplicity in part number 1, the warm-up, with part number 2. So the reason I'm saying that is I don't want you to think that the effort that we put in part number 1 is equivalent to part number 2. Part number 2, as you will see later throughout the semester, will require much more effort, and this is not because it's necessarily more difficult, it's just more new to you. So in the warm-up, you will deal with things that you have learned before, whereas in part number 2 and part number 3, we will tackle topics that you have never seen before, unless, of course, you have taken engineering classes before or you have taken engineering mechanics before. So this is just a little warm-up, and we just ease into the topic. And the real goal of the warm-up here is to familiarize you with the work style in this class and with all the methods we're going to use, so that you can get used to it. And then when we really learn engineering mechanics, the core of the class, part 2, then you have all the tools in place and you're ready to move forward. So with that said, let's get started and let's have a look at our very first lecture.